Hey guys, Tony, Spent Brass Offroad. I am here with Andy from Gluetread. As you guys know, in a previous video, we had a flat because we got a split in our sidewall. So Andy's going to give us a quick demo on how awesome this Gluetread stuff is. Again, check it out, fix it on the trail, get you out of a pinch without having to change a tire. Andy, take it from here, brother.
Sweet. So as you can see, sidewall damage is here, and it's kind of a tough spot because it's right by this lug. So a lot of times, we get questions on how are you going to fix this because you have to put a patch kind of over top of it. A couple different options. There's sandpaper that comes in all of our kits. That would take forever to sand. One thing some people do is use a grinder, like this one here. These totally work. What you do, you have to be a little careful when you're using this. If you're going to grind this off, there is a point at which the rubber will start smoking, and then at that point, the rubber on the tire is actually like changing its composition, and then it gets tacky, and the adhesive won't stick to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by using just a knife, cutting off as much as we can. We'll either grind or hand sand the rest of it, and then we'll put a patch over the top. So that wasn't too bad. Honestly, we can hand sand some of it, see how that does, and kind of go from there. So can open up the kit. This is our full-size kit. We have a bunch of different options here at the Expo. This kit does just sidewall. So this has 4 different patches in it. You can cut these patches to fit size. This is our 3 by 1.5 inch patch. Then we also have our 4 by 4.5 inch patch. This one's slightly thicker. We probably use this and cut it to fit. We'll cut around here and then do the sanding and go from there. But if you are going to sand, which we'll do a little bit by hand just to show people how it works,
yeah.
We don't have a grinder. One thing I generally suggest doing, this is the sandpaper that comes with the kit, is putting this rubber behind it. It gives you a backing and then gives some support to the sanding. So this part's going to take a while on camera. I might have to speed this up.
Yeah. And guys, keep in mind, we're trying to avoid having to change the tire on the trail, right? So some people don't even carry spares because this stuff works so well.
So you can see here, we are making progress. This, if you have a grinder, probably not a bad way to do it. Save yourself some time, but you can do it this way. It just obviously takes more time. This, when we get reports, people say, oh, it doesn't work. This is generally the step they do incorrectly. You just have to prep it. It's like painting or anything else. Everything's in the prep work.
Yep.
So just make sure you sand this all the way down and get it as flush as you can. So I don't know, we can do this one or we can hit it with the grinder real quick.
It's up to you, man.
So cool. Want to grind it? You want to do a little bit?
So we'll do a quick, and like you said, you don't want to overheat it.
Yeah.
Because that's going to change the composition of the rubber. And then we can just smooth it out with the sandpaper?
Yeah, and then we'll just do the finer part with the sandpaper here.
So what are we looking for when we do this? So what's the optimal surface that we're looking for?
So, you want it, in a perfect world, it's like totally smooth, right? So I can get it down and be able to show you better than right? Like this area in here is really what you want everything to look like.
Okay, so we need to take this out a little bit. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
So you want me, I'll hit it with the grinder real quick?
That'd be great.
All right.
Perfect. You can see if you were to do that a long time, it really
starts smoking. Yep, it gets too hot.
Yeah.
Right.
But we can get that top layer off there. See, even that kind of got a little tacky, but it should be fine. We should be able to just sand the rest of that off.
And that's probably a little bit of the tire manufacturer too. These are Baja Mickey Thompsons, so they tend to be a little softer on the rubber.
Totally. Might sand that down a little bit more and just try to get those
ridges out.
Kind of those ridges out.
We got a little crazy with it.
It's all right. It's good, man. The irony of this whole thing, this was not pre-planned. Our booths are actually right next to each other.
That's right. So we actually suffered this going through the 101 up from California, and this didn't even happen on the trail. We were just going down the road doing 40 miles an hour, and she decided to cut loose. So as you can tell, this tire's been through some hard trails, but I'm glad we ran into you guys.
So obviously, you could do something like this. We really should grind down these letters too, I guess. It's not through there. It looks like it's only through here. That's a separate gash, huh?
Yeah, probably.
So we want to make sure is you want to get as much border around this as you can, right? So you can kind of fit it in maybe trim that section out, but you want to have as much border around the damage as you can when you put the patch on.
Gotcha.
So I'll
Just trim it out.
yeah, it'd be perfect if we had a pair of scissors, but you don't normally carry those. You know, we want it to come kind of like that, so I'll probably cut down and try to go around that lug. You could grind that lug the whole way down, and I guess we could start cutting into that, but then I don't know. Your call. What do you think? Do you want to cut that lug and go from there, or do you want to just cut around it? Any preference?
I mean, whatever works. I mean, I think we can etch it around. It'd probably be all right.
Perfect. All right, so we'll cut something
Because this,
similar like that.
obviously, we're not using this on the highway anymore. Like,
Right.
this will only be trail driven. So right now we're custom fitting the patch to basically the shape of the tire and the lugs that are still left. Because you obviously want a little overlap from where the crack or your sidewall split is.
Right. think I can do that without cutting my fingers. Somebody's going to comment on that.
Yeah. Where's the PPE?
Perfect. Okay. So then,
Man, look at that.
perfect. So then next thing I'm doing, so like I want to make sure that this here, see how we're going to have that patch fitting in there? I want that to be sanded down. You want all that to be fresh rubber anywhere there's going to be
Contact.
Yeah. So I'll hit that again. This is a good one. It's a tough
Make you work
spot.
for it. Bam. Look at that.
Perfect. Okay. So now we'll go here, and then we're just going to want to cut it. Probably cut it about there, huh?
Because if you go over a little bit, it's not going to hurt anything, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We can bring it down further.
So, I mean, at least to the top of the letters, probably, right?
Yeah. We could. Yeah. You know, it's like the other thing too. I mean, kind of a balance of if you have too much, and it's like if it was something like this, you know, then that leaves a corner where it could be peeled up. But in here, it should be all right. We'll sand that down a little bit. About there. I might sand that too down just here. Like we were saying before, it's all in the prep work.
So you guys have a display tire over here that has probably, what, 50 patches in it?
Yeah, we've got, there's a 42-inch Patagonia that has one patch in the sidewall that has 10,000 miles on it.
Nice.
Now, that was not something that we did. We purchased that tire from a good friend. None of this stuff's approved for on-road use. It's not, DOT approved or anything like that. But in a pinch, it'll get you home.
Yep.
It's a 10,000-mile pinch. It's a pretty wild pinch.
That's a wild pinch. That's pushing it. That's awesome, though.
Yeah. So we'll run that like that. So this is the next part. This is something that we threw in these kits, one of these cards in every kit. So you want to use a dot pattern like that. And we also say, stop, more adhesive is not better. A lot of times what people do is they'll use an entire tube of adhesive on a patch and be like, oh, it didn't work. Well, it's like, it takes too long for it to cure if you're going to use that much adhesive. So it's important to just like follow the dot pattern on that card and don't use the entire tube. Use like a reasonable amount, which is displayed on that card. So this is actually another cool piece here. We recently changed the packaging for our adhesives. So another thing to keep in mind as you're keeping these kits, this adhesive is a cyanoacrylate, right? So it's pretty much, it's kind of like a super glue. It's in the same family as a super glue, but specifically for rubber application. This has a shelf life. So 2 to 4 years, depending on how it's stored, where it's stored. Is it in the light? Is it humid? Is it dry? Is it cold, warm?
Right.
So on. So this is new packaging that we've come out with for adhesive that this will at least double the life, the previous life of our shelf life.
Okay.
Shelf life of our adhesive. So you have to take this cap off, punch that to get it started, cap back on. If you've used this in the past, you're familiar with our applicator tips here. And then this is how this helps like be very precise.
The dot technique.
Yeah. First thing we're going to do is actually put the adhesive into the crack as much as we can. It sounded like when this went, it wasn't like that whole thing wasn't through.
Right.
Just a piece. So what we'll do, try to not make it any worse than it is, but get this in here and do as much adhesive there as you can. and then just hold it together, and then we'll let that sit. So generally we say the adhesive takes about 60 seconds for like an initial cure. And then you want to wait about 5 minutes before you air it up. So we'll hold this for a second. We'll wipe off the excess adhesive. From there, we'll sand it down again, and then we'll put the patch on.
Perfect.
So let that sit for a second. And then what we'll do is we'll take another piece of sandpaper with this rubber and we'll sand down the excess adhesive so that we have rubber to rubber contact when we put the patch on. Perfect. All right. Now, fun part. Got the patch all cut. You can do this one of two ways. You can put the adhesive on the tire first, or you can put it on the patch first. For something like this, I like the idea of putting it on the patch because you can put it on flat and then place it there versus putting a drop pad on here. It's going to run down. So put the patch, put the adhesive on this side. I'm going to go up, hold it like that for about a minute. So this is that dot pattern that we were talking about before.
Keeping in mind that more is not better.
Right. You don't just want to lather this whole side with adhesive. That's going to get you in trouble. I like making sure I have enough on those corners. Got that on. Now just hold that for a minute or so. Pretty firm pressure. And then once we do that, I'll come back and make sure all the corners held. And then we can even blow it up and see how it
Yes, I got compression. We'll blow it up.
One thing you can do too, if this is something that's going to be on here for a long time, do this whole process, let it sit for a minute, inflate it. After you inflate it, you can put some water on here and see if there's any small leaks.
Yep.
If there is a small leak, you can let it off, let it dry, and then put the adhesive back in there and hold it again.
Nice.
So sometimes, especially on something.
So you don't have to remove the whole patch and start over.
Right.
It's just, okay.
Totally. Another question though too, like that we'll get is like, what happens if you rip the entire patch off? Which does happen. It's very rare, but it has happened before. Or you get a big piece off. You can actually take the entire patch off, sand it, and then put another one on.
Gotcha.
In an absolute worst case scenario. Perfect. So that looks like it's on there pretty good. I am gonna check around the edges here and just make sure there's a crazy corner there. Yeah, we've got it rubber to rubber the whole way around.
All right, guys. So we let the patch set. It dried. Same situation if you're out on the trail. We've got our Morphlate hooked up to our compressor. We're going to go ahead and just give her the beans and see if we hold out. We're going to run this one up to 35 PSI because that's where we would run it on the freeway. Keep in mind, this is not meant for highway use, although I'm sure guys do it all the time.
That's a gnarly spot.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't hear anything. And then let me check the PSI on the pump. We're at 38 PSI. So we went over. No bulge, no air leak.
Yeah.
So patch looks like it's gonna hold. We'll use it on a trail. I'm sure we'll mess up another tire shortly. But thanks to the team over there at Gluetread showing us how it's done.
Yeah.
You got the website where they can order it off of?
Just Gluetread.com.
All right, guys, get over to Gluetread, get your Sidewall kit. They also offer other kits, right? So
yeah, we've got stuff that'll fix valve stems, tread area, sidewall, whatever you need.
Awesome. All right, guys, get over there, check it out.